I did.
Yeah, but how do I not share screen?
I'm busy.
It is unstable. Yeah, that's as good as I'm gonna be able to get this. For now. Yeah, it's like the back of everyone. Well, I can probably just unplug that, right? Because that's not working anyway. I could hold it.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, that ladder. It's the ladder.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Somewhere and grab them.
You all stand for the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Rick McComb, present.
George Merrill,
Present.
Paul Hinckley,
Present.
Teresa Raincourt,
Present.
Laura Clifford,
Present.
gender adjustments.
Can we just make one, introduce the new employee right now?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you stand up and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tammy Benedict. I'm the new clerk here. I started yesterday. I was the deputy clerk in the town of Manchester. I live in Litchfield. And now I'm here and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Tammy.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, you as well, too. Thank you. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Again, nice to meet you, George.
Now you can run if you'd like.
Okay. Nice.
Bye, Tammy.
Ceremonial.
And just since Raquel was not here, kind of here at the last meeting, just introduce her as our new town manager.
We'd like to welcome Raquel,
Raquel, welcome. Yeah.
our new town manager.
Thank you.
Unfinished business. New business, Grow Smart of Maine.
That's me.
Harold.
It's okay. Can you hear me from here? Sorry. Thank you for having me. My name is Harold Benison. I'm the Associate Director at the Grow Smart Maine. I'm really here to talk about a statewide program called the Community Resilience Program, which is a program that once the municipality is enrolled, it can apply for funding up to $75,000 for projects, local projects, municipal projects that are related to electrification, maybe vulnerability assessments, kind of resilience planning, the heat pumps, solar panels, related to that. It's a good program in the sense that there's no much required from the town. The funding comes up front, so you don't have to front it and ask for reimbursement. It's a fairly easy application process. It's like a fairly, if you've done federal things or things like that, it's usually very complicated. This is a very straightforward. It's a state program. It's funded to the state budget. I think that kind of the requirement from the town to be eligible for this funding is that there has to be kind of a community process a community meeting basically where the community kind of says what the priorities should be for how to spend this money, and then you put that into the application. So it's really supposed to be a kind of a community-driven program in that sense. It's a fairly broad set, as I kind of said. It can be from planning things. Some even use it for a comprehensive plan. To very concrete hardware, like heat pumps for your for example, for municipal buildings, things like that. My role, I don't work for the state, I work for a nonprofit, Grow Smart Maine, and my role would kind of be to work with the town, a focal point in the town, and kind of tick all the boxes. You have to do the community meeting, there has to be there's a survey to kind of what has the town already done, what are some of the things that might consider doing, and then kind of submit that kind of checklist to the state. And then once the town is enrolled, then you can then apply for that funding, and that opens up. It has been opening up twice a year, and you can apply each time. So bonus, if the town goes together with other towns, then you can apply for $175,000 for a joint project. My experience is that most towns already kind of have something they want to do. I've previously worked with, we're currently working with the town of Leeds, worked with the town of Wayne, London, Vienna. And we're currently working with Mexico as well. Bolton and Presque Isle actually, so it's a good spread. But I think there's about 200 towns across Maine that has enrolled now. So it's a fairly popular program in that sense. Yeah, so I think that's the outline. So any questions? There's, I think the select board members have received kind of an outline of a plan. I mean, it's flexible, has to fit your schedule, obviously. So you can work around that. That's it. And I think if there is also a group locally who already are engaged, maybe in some towns it's like a planning board who's interested in this, or there's like a conservation committee or some recreational group or somebody who's like want to be part of this work, that's also very much welcome, obviously. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what I need from you guys, if you would like us to take part in this, is approval to sign a letter saying that we're gonna take part. There's really no cost to there's no cost to the town to do this, and we can get up to $75,000, so it's.
I'll make that motion. A motion to approve the working with Grow Smart Maine and to authorize the town managers to sign a letter of support.
Who seconded?
George, Lauren.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got it right here now. I was ready.
Wow, that was quick.
I was ready.
Notice of award, gendered and gendering.
Yes, that's for the road project.
I'll make that motion that we approve the bid from Gendron and Gendron in the amount of $1,374,430 for the 2025 roadway improvements, which includes Webster Corner Road, Key Road, Sutherland Pond Road, Furbush Road, Fisher Farm Road, Cross Road.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion?
I just have a question. Do we know if we're gonna be able to do that this year, this calendar year?
The contract completion date is June 30 next year, so I don't know at this point if we'll be able to get it all done, where it's taking so long to get to this point. The intent is to try and get some of it done, but if not, it would all be done hopefully by the end of June last year. We were planning on getting to it earlier this year, so that didn't happen, so.
Can you give us an idea, like would Webster Corner Road be the last thing you do?
I
So it's a
could
rebuild?
answer that question at this point, to be perfectly honest with you. So,
So we don't know what roads are gonna go first.
That's-
if that's something you want, we can give it to you, but it's,
It's more the public that will probably ask us, so.
yeah, no, and we need to check schedules at this point, obviously. I mean, without knowing, we continue to take more and more work. So, worst case scenario, it'll all be done next year, worst case scenario.
Thank you.
I did a motion. Is there a second?
I seconded it.
Second. Okay. All right, all in favor? Opposed? Appointment of Natalie Sanford. Ross?
Okay, what?
You already got that one.
Yeah, but we didn't do it. We didn't motion. We just introduced her, didn't we?
Right.
Oh, you got it.
That's-
Okay.
Yeah, so
So appoint Tammy Benedict as deputy clerk.
I motion to appoint Tammy Benedict as deputy clerk.
Second.
Any discussion? None. All in favor? Opposed? All right, appointment of Natalie Sanford Ross as deputy clerk.
Doesn't matter who we have now. I don't know her last name.
Yes.
Need a second?
Need a motion, need a second.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Natalie Sanford Dumas as our deputy clerk.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Bus garage discussion. Marco Eller.
Hi, everybody. Just go out so I don't forget 11:15 tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah, no
that.
problem whatsoever. I'm glad I told you now because
Me too.
I probably forget. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marco Albury. I'm the new superintendent of schools in RSU4. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Just a little bit before we get going with the bus discussion about myself. 10 years in the RSU. I was the principal at the middle school for a year, and then I've been 9 years at Oak Hill High School. It's been a wonderful experience to consider RSU4 and the surrounding communities to be my professional home. And so it's just really nice to be here with all of you. We look forward to continued support and working together. I know the bus garage and the buses themselves have been a bit of a hot topic as of late, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have and kind of give you a timeline or at least where we're at as far as our process is concerned. So leave it up to you guys if you have any specific questions for me.
So where we at?
You got it, Rick. So where we're at. So I just got a executed lease today, which is great, which I will sign tomorrow. And so the lease will be set to go. We have a little bit of earthwork that we'd like to do prior to moving everything over, just grading out the parking lot, making sure that it's acceptable for all of the buses to move over. And then we plan on moving those buses out of there. Timeline for that. So, if everything goes according to plan, we're looking at the earthwork could start as soon as the end of this week and the beginning of next week and be completed. And then we would move them as soon as possible as far as the buses were concerned, especially the 4 that we're using for parts. One other piece I was going to ask, and just because you may have this equipment, you may not, but I was curious. We've looked into quotes for moving our buses. I don't know if the town of Sabattus has equipment to move buses or not. It's totally fine if you don't. Just curious. That's all. Not anything else. So we're looking to get a quote from an outfit out of Lewiston that does some heavy hauling there. So should be pretty quick turnaround.
Where are you guys moving?
That was my.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, you're fine.
No, that's a great
Where
question.
are you
So
moving to?
yeah, there's a warehouse or garage, I should say, right through Pleasant Hill Road, the intersection there headed out, and I apologize for the route number,
132?
132.
Is it Jume's old garage?
It's Louis, help me, Louis Willett has a place there, that's his name.
Oh,
Yeah, Louis Willett.
Yeah.
Willett.
The builder?
Yep, yep. One builder.
In Wales?
In Wales,
In
correct.
Wales, okay.
on the right.
Okay.
So is it like, that's where you're moving all the buses?
Yep, all of the buses will go there.
And you guys are leasing it?
Yep, we're leasing it. Yeah, we have a term for 3 years is what we're looking at this point in time. And then, kind of see where things go from there. But as I've had the discussions with Rick, prior to, you coming on, Raquel, just in regards to getting, especially those parts buses out there as soon as possible. So you're loud and clear, and appreciate your patience and understanding as we get things set up.
What,
Laura?
what is the cost of the increase of the budget for having the lease on that building?
Well, I don't know what the percent of increase is.
What
I
was
don't
the
know.
cost for the lease,
A month, per month?
the contract for the 3 years?
Well, it's $3,200 a month is what it is.
And so what do you pay now?
We don't pay anything to the town of Sabattus that I know of. I could be wrong about that, though.
32 for a year is what, 36, 40 maybe, right? So 40,000 for the school budget, right, an increase.
Mhm.
But-
Yeah, where we save on that, though, is that we're not bringing our buses anywhere to be worked on because we have a mechanic, somebody on staff. So we're not paying for routine maintenance, if you will. I mean, obviously, if there's something major that's wrong with the bus, like we'll have to send that out just because we don't have the equipment necessarily to fill it, to fix it. So that's where there'll be cost savings, is to do that, is because we will be paying somebody else to do that work.
And what was that was maybe a factor in moving the buses, or like what kind of led to the point of not being in Sabattus? Because how long have buses been in Sabattus for? Like,
As long as I can remember.
Since I've lived here.
Yeah, as long as I can,
Yeah.
as long
So
as
what
I can.
happened to that?
To be honest with you, Laura, so like I'm coming on with this already kind of set in motion. And so, there were decisions that were made prior to me in regards to transitioning the buses over. I think that there was concern about like having space to work on our buses. And like, you guys have a full fleet of vehicles that you have to work on. And so, we don't want to impose and, be in the way. So, I think it makes sense for us to move those things over at this point in time.
And the lease is signed.
Not yet, tomorrow.
What about the past budget, huh?
But we gotta get things going, make sure that we're ready for the start of school.
There was also concern with the buses, the ones that are, I don't know, if Tony, if you could help me here, the wellhead detection, where we had the state come in.
As far as that whole lot sitting on wellhead protection, and the town of Sabattus has been written up before with a warning as far as the buses leaking fluids and everything on top,
Mhm.
sitting out back, and they were supposed to be gone a long time ago, as far as I'm concerned, from what I was told.
When you say a long time ago, what are you talking, like years? Are you talking?
Yeah, years ago, when it's all part of the stormwater program that the town is enrolled in.
I mean, it's not been something that's been discussed prior to really the last, few months or so. So I'm not aware of that. I appreciate the information that helps, obviously, in like, moving things out of the way. Like if that is causing an issue as far as an environmental concern, the last thing we want to do is have the town incur any costs,
Right.
for us holding on to those buses here.
So are we written up currently for that?
I was gonna say, do you have copies of the write-ups? Like, cause I'm happy to take a look at that. And, if there's an explanation that needs to be made to the state or something on those lines.
But I think that before, when the buses were being repaired off-site, when Hannigan's Garage was doing it, that's where the spare buses or the broken down ones were all stored. And so they weren't stored.
Right,
Yeah.
on your property, I got you.
Sorry.
I got you. Well, that's good to know. Appreciate that, George. Thank you for that. That doesn't have to be something you get to me right this second. I was just curious, that's all.
No, I got a copy. Do you want a copy?
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so is that something we need to leave on our future agendas for the,
I gotta say something, because this kind of came out of nowhere. We were at a selectman meeting one night, and this kind of all of a sudden came out of nowhere that the RS4 buses were getting kicked out of there without our knowledge. So we were not aware of that when you were told to move the buses. So I'm a little disgruntled about that should have come to the board of selectmen first, and then you should have proceeded once we had a discussion.
Sure.
So I don't think this was done appropriately or properly. And I'm very upset about the way this was done.
I just want to say that I never told the buses that they had to leave. I met with the superintendent about, they were looking for a place. I was under the assumption that they were looking for a place to build a building to work on the buses. And I offered, our last bid was about the only option that we have that's open, that they could potentially work on a bus. Our garage is only 38 feet long inside, the buses are 42. So they can't fit in there for 6 months out of the year, you're not just gonna leave the door open.
I understand that, but it should have come to the Board of Selectmen first.
Right, I never told them that they.
The only removal was the
The
four
four
buses
buses
that were
okay.
on, that was it, that was the only thing that was talked about.
I see.
Well, then there was also chatter like that the Public Works put out took everything out. This is just chatter, right? Like they took everything out and threw it in the empty buses and
All the parts are still in bay 2.
thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
You can go on the cameras right now and look at all the parts, they're dusty, they haven't been moved in years. The only parts that are out in the buses are a couple fenders and a couple big windows that take up a lot of space and they're weather tight.
We actually went to Hannigan's and got all of the RSU parts for the RSU, so that they didn't, because the RSU bought them and they were at Hannigan's. We went and got them all and we're storing them.
And you did offer your last bay for them to work on buses that would fit in there that they could have used,
They could nose in, but that's,
Yeah, I
the
think,
whole bus route.
I think you said that it.
what are you gonna do in the winter time?
Right, the door's wide open.
They never have worked in the garage with their own mechanic. That's a myth. They never had oil that was there, that was brought up at a meeting, that same meeting. That none of the oil that was there was when the Public Works mechanic was working on buses, and that was Public Works' oil, and it got charged out. The school department decided that they didn't want to pay Public Works to do the work anymore. And that's why Public Works stopped working, and that's before Tony got here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just say like, there's no animosity on my part, right? I mean, it's, something that's in motion, obviously want to work with you guys moving forward. It's, if there's things that we need to move out of there, we're happy to do so. But be good steward, obviously, of the, equipment that we have. And, so like, I guess I would say just like, I appreciate you guys going and picking that stuff up. Obviously there's things that I'm not aware of in regards to conversations that have happened prior to. But ultimately, it's like, this is the path that we're on, and, we'll move forward with it. And as far as those 4 buses, I know, like I said, they need to get out of there, we'll get them out of there.
Okay.
So then back to my question about, do we need to leave it on the agenda for the environmental cleanup portion expected from the RSU?
What did the state say?
They just don't, it's an,
Everything was in buckets underneath the buses?
they just had, but there was a bucket catching potential leaking.
I don't think we can do anything until the buses are out of there.
Right, and then, I mean,
Then it can be-
that's minor as far as just a little bit of cleanup.
So then, what I think I'm hearing is that we would leave it under unfinished business for resolution of the write-ups from the city. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions?
Thank you, Marcus,
Yeah,
very
of course.
much.
Thanks, Marco.
Thank you very much.
Sure. I'm happy to stick around if you guys have questions in regards to Sabattus primary also. If you'd
Might
like.
want to
Sure.
put it in there.
Format of minutes. George?
I figured it had to come from you.
And here it is. I motion that all public comments be recorded in the minutes of meetings, in the recorded minutes.
Second?
And then I'll just provide some background on that. My theory is if you, the public, come here and speak to us about an item, that item should be recorded in the minutes of the meeting, and not just bypassed. It was done previously, and then it's been omitted for a while now. So I'd like to get it back on there. Again, I think it's important that your concerns be listed in the paperwork instead of having to go through the entire meeting on the video to find out what's going on. we know you were here and what subject it was that you were talking about. So that's why I asked to get this back on the agenda.
Any more discussion?
I had discussion to the format of the minutes, but not specifically to public comment being noted. So I would just like to see like a department head kind of section within it so that we don't have to make agenda adjustments if they have something that they need to bring to the board. It's also a great reminder to have department heads have something on there as well. So I would just like to see that change as well.
It's not an emotion.
Well, she can do it, I mean, Raquel can do whatever she wants to do.
Right.
Putting it together.
It's not a big deal.
And that's like once a month having them come in,
Yeah.
or they just need to come in and talk to us also.
Right.
Did you need a motion or change the?
We good?
No, no, I can just add it.
Just for the discussion.
Okay.
So you vote?
I-
Do you want to move the motion in a second? We're just gonna call for a vote.
Yeah, so it needs to be voted on.
That still needs to be voted on. So we got a motion with George and Laura, second. All in favor? Opposed? So that is primary discussion.
George, too.
No, it's Laura, I'm trying to know her. She was the chairman of the committee.
No,
She wasn't there.
Sorry, so
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
we actually, well,
I was there, so I can.
Laura and I and Noel, the first one we had about Sabattus primaries.
Yeah, so in June, May, we did a quick public meeting to see what community members kind of, if we were to vote it through, which it did in June, to take the building, what some options were that the community kind of thought about doing for that. I should pull up my notes, I'll send them to you. So the majority of everyone there would really like to see it be a community center, a rec center, shops, historical society, museum, all kinds of those things came up as well. So my suggestion is to do a committee for it, get some community members on it and see what happens with it. There's a bunch of grants. Kelly has presented a few things as well to us in the past, and that's where that's parallel.
And that grant we just listened to also would be able to possibly be used in that direction as well if the town wants to go that route. Okay, and George,
Raquel and I toured the facility again the other day, superintendent, and just looking around, just trying to get ideas. My whole thing is I don't want the kitchen cannibalized, so that it could be a functioning kitchen when we take possession of the property. When we gave it to the RSU back, 20 years ago, whatever it was, more than that now, sorry. I'm old. But, we gave them a functioning kitchen, and I just want that available so that we have a good selection of what might happen there. Again, we talked about a lot of things, but a senior center, senior citizens need a place, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all need a place. The other option that Raquel and I just bounced back and forth was potentially elderly housing in that new section, or just because there's already a bathroom in every single classroom there, which is really nice. That for you. So there's tons of options, and again, we can explore those going down the road. I know that as the superintendent that we're talking about having a garage sale there of extra items, and then we talked about saving some stuff, that they move back in some cafeteria tables so that we didn't have to spend money to get that place up and running if we wanted it to be a community center.
Oh, you raised your.
When does this town of Sabattus take it over? Like, when
It's
is
the
it?
end of July.
The end of July?
I'm sorry, no, the end of August.
The end of August. Okay.
September 1st.
Do you guys know what you're taking out of the kitchen? I know there was talk about taking, was it the dishwasher? Something was new. I want to say it was the dishwasher.
Yeah, so we swapped that out, exactly.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, so like the dishwasher at the high school. No sneaking. No.
I'm kidding.
Under the cover of darkness with our dishwasher. It was replaced. The Oak Hill High School dishwasher is a little bit older than the one that was at Sabattus Primary, so we swapped them out.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're returning the Oak Hill High School dishwasher to Sabattus Primary School so that you have one.
Awesome.
With discussion, there's a newer steam table in there that they're talking about potentially selling, but it's like, we talked about, trying to keep that, so again, so it becomes a commercial kitchen that's functional, again, tons of possibilities, just buying the, we could rent that space out for somebody who wanted to use a commercial kitchen.
So I think why I wanted this on here was there is a ton of stuff in there. And I think for people that have a vision, like Laura and Noelle, it sounds like you're pretty involved and have a vision for that place. If they're willing to give us first dibs at some of the furniture and stuff that's in there, somebody needs to go through and just tag things that we want. So I think if people with a vision should set that up.
Sure.
To go in there and say, this might be used, even if we want to sell the building later on, if that's what it comes to, it might sell better if we have this. So that kind of situation.
Is there anything that you guys need for the kids that's in that school?
If there's anything that we need, we've moved the majority of those items.
Okay.
So like, it was a pretty substantial process, obviously, to like empty an entire building and then move it elsewhere. But that has gone quite smoothly, which we're really excited about. There are like a few other items that are there that are just waiting to be moved. But otherwise, many of the items that both Raquel and George saw that day, will be up for you guys to take a look at if you want them.
Just want to make sure our kids have everything in RSU4. We don't need to
Appreciate that.
purchase anything else for them if we're able to.
Sure, appreciate that, thank you.
So I think my only concern is with the playground equipment at the present moment. The business manager indicated that one of the playground areas has been off limits to kids for a long time. So I guess I'm concerned about the liability of the town, having that still there, whether or not the school can move it, or that's gonna be up to us to have that expense.
I don't think that would be very expensive to me.
Jeans off?
It's metal, it's metal.
It's metal, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I think so.
Okay.
Forged.
One of the metal saws, I don't know.
And I'll just add, it's one more lawn to mow, Tony. One more thing.
But I do think if we're interested in anything that's within the building, that needs to get organized amongst whoever wants to go down and tag things, because I don't even have the vision that you guys, because I'm just coming in, but there are definitely things there that would be beneficial to hang on to.
Does anyone have to approve us? You go down, like,
I would say,
Just
so.
set up,
I would just set it up with him.
And you can let me know, we have a new facilities or director of operations in the school district, and he can accompany you guys through just to, make sure that stuff gets set aside so that you know where it is, and we know where it is, so that there's no confusion on items as we move the last few bits out.
Do you have any idea of the rack of folding chairs? Is that going somewhere, or is that?
I don't, George, I'm sorry. No, was there a rack in there?
Yeah, next to the end of the bench, the gym benches.
Oh, okay.
Helen.
Yeah,
Is there, he
Yeah,
says.
But it's on a stand in a roll. So
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I don't know, I'm sorry, yeah.
That's right.
Any more discussion?
Well, so, it feels like, it's still kind of a free-for-all type of thing, right? So like, do we want to potentially get organized and create a committee of people that, like a building, a Sabattus building committee to do the legwork and bring to the board, and
I think that's a good idea, but I think as far as the stuff that's there now, we need to whoever's gonna do it needs to, I don't think you have time to organize a committee at this point to get
Well,
that piece done.
why don't you just keep it all, and then whatever's left there, the town could sell? Like,
Oh,
what's the benefit?
I don't care, I think they're gonna sell things,
Yeah,
so.
but if they're not using it or taking it with them, then why don't they just leave it? And then
That's a question for him.
Yeah, and that would be a discussion I'd have to have, only because, like there's a balance there in regards to like the money that's spent because it's part of the RSU. It's not just Sabattus, right? So it's Litchfield and Wales too. So I would just have to check on that. That's all. Can we just leave everything and walk away from it?
yeah, so I think that's probably the question, is like, keep it a functioning building, what's the functioning building, and then these are the extras, and this is the amount that the school will either sell them to us for or sell them to somebody else for, and then.
I feel like the point's being missed, that to go down there and to say, if you're not, to go down there and say, yes, we want this, yes, we want that, then they know, okay, Sabattus wants this, and we're not gonna use it, so we can leave it there. Is that correct, kind of
Yeah, I mean,
thing?
that's ultimately like what
Right,
we'd like to have.
so to go down there and tag it first, instead of saying, well, when you sell it all, if you don't sell it, we'll sell it, or you sell it to us, is just, I think it's more, you're making it, to me, it seems more complicated than just going down there and saying, yes, we want the rack of rolling chairs, yes, we want the cafeteria tables, yes, we want this. Easier to do that, and then they can take out what they want and sell it back to us, or whatever.
John?
I think to Laura's point, it's a better point to get some kind of a committee ahead of time, get in touch with local representatives of these groups. The Knights of Columbus is not going to be able to use the church anymore. They might have use for cafeteria tables and chairs if they're going to have suppers down there. If it's some kind of an emergency management agency building that we could use, we'll have the kitchen, we'll have chairs and tables and everything. If the rec club could use it for the basketball, Rod said the scoreboard, and the controls are still gonna be there. If we decide that we could have a rec program for little kids on Sunday mornings when we have access to the school, we would be able to use that before it's taken away. I think getting people involved ahead of time and asking them what they might need is better than to go in and say, well, somebody might need this, let's tag it, let's tag that to, we can get rid of that and then find out somebody could have used it.
To counter that, I just say, how hard it is to get a committee together. We have until September 1st, so you've got 6 weeks.
You don't really have that long, because when were you doing the yard sale?
We haven't set a date.
Oh,
So they're gonna do the art, so you don't have time to pull a committee together at this point. It's too short notice, and you know how hard it is pulling a committee together.
What about if one of us heads it and then we get a list of people who we're interested in? For instance, we know Kelly's interested, we know Knights of Columbus are interested. We can get a few of those people together and then we can just go from there on it. I think a committee on that would be a lot easier than these other committees that we have been trying to put together.
And I think a lot of people have been watching. We did a public meeting in a week, and we had 20 people, 12 people show up, so, I think people have been watching it. I think people that are invested and want to do things are going to do, pretty quickly, but it is summer too, so I don't have to, I'm deflecting from running it.
I'll run it, but it's gonna be a weeknight, and then I'm gonna go down there, it's not gonna be a weekend. I don't mind doing that, but it'll be a little bit, I can get out of work a little early, but I'm not gonna do it on the weekend. So if I can find people.
But again, it's up to his superintendent's facilities guy, who
Right.
probably only works days.
Who are signing up for that?
His name is Sean Knox.
Sean Knox will have to spare a couple hours in the evening.
I'm sure we can facilitate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna steal anything out of there if we go through it. But we'll figure it out. I'll call you tomorrow.
Sure, appreciate that, thank you.
Yes.
Back in 2008, when the RSU was formed, the town of Sabattus owned everything in that building, correct? When the RSU was formed, all that stuff became the RSU's property. The RSU now should take that existing property, even if it's new or whatever, give it back to the town as is conditioned. Basically, the same stuff should be put back the way it was. You understand what I mean with that?
I do.
Right, but they
And,
might,
done.
Yeah, you have to understand though, right, like,
they've upgraded things.
the money that's been spent between, you said 2008,
2008.
and now, it's not just the town of Sabattus' money.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's the issue.
That's not my fault.
I didn't say it was.
So when Wales did
I
it,
didn't say it was.
now when Wales did it, Robbie, you were there for that,
They
right?
were still alone.
It was still a loan.
Yeah, we hadn't formed the RSU then.
When they gave the building back to Wales?
Yeah, it was the first year of the RSU. So everything that was there was only bought by Wales, and we still took everything that we needed for the other schools. We took desks, chairs, tables that we were gonna need, because we get the same amount of students from there
Yeah, absolutely, but
going over to another school.
it should be picked clean in my opinion.
But I think, but I'm just gonna kudos to you, because I think you're right, if you can contact somebody from the night, somebody from the historical society, somebody to go down there with you, Noel, I think that's a great idea. Then you've got some input, and you're not looking at a committee, you're looking at people who are actually gonna be in there, so.
Yeah.
Good idea.
You got a lot of knowledge, Christina. You can join us.
Cool. I want to be on the committee
So,
too,
We're
but
not forming a committee though.
we're just doing this.
eventually
Right.
we're forming a committee.
So I just need your number before you leave. I like that, yours. Marco, I need yours. You wanna be involved?
I can, but I
Who else?
Rocky?
a point to make with that is, you guys getting your, however many people it is, together to go over and look. I think you guys should include some members of the RSU4 board as well. That way because they are, regardless of anything, the board members are gonna have to take it to the RSU4 population.
Yeah, I'll get your wife.
So that way they know, but that way they know that, okay, this is what Sabattus is looking for, and then they can bring it up in the board. That way they're not going in blind as well, so.
Yes, and that's why I did ask Marco, do you know if you already have everything, as much as you think you need for them children? I wanna make sure that our RSU4 kids, because like we said, the number of children did not change. We're just putting them in different areas, so I understand that part.
Yes, but to the
But Marco
point
and
of-
I, we'll get a board number.
Well, I'm just saying to the point of resale value, it's not just the town of Sabattus, it's all three towns.
Yeah.
So therefore, all three towns have to make a decision on whether or not we leave it, we sell it back to Sabattus,
No, that's
or.
not accurate.
whatnot. Yes.
Marco?
Sorry, can you just clarify the question again, please? Just the question is that do we need to get permission from the other two towns in regards to what we'll sell?
No, I think what is, the thing
Is that
with,
correct? Sorry.
I think,
That's exactly what I said.
Oh, okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
That was-
but I also thought that you meant like making sure that the RSU has everything they need.
No,
Oh,
no, just what's left over on whether or not we just leave it or if we see resale value in it as far as the RSU4, because the RSU4 is gonna take the profits from that and put it back in the RSU4 budget.
Right,
Especially with budget season, a budget not passed yet, that's gonna play a big role. That's all I was saying.
yeah. Marco's like thinking too.
Well, no, I just want to make sure I'm giving an accurate answer to the question. So again, I'll just repeat myself. So the question is, do we need to get permission from Wales and Litchfield to sell items from the Sabattus Primary School? And my understanding is we do not need to do that, given the fact that, we have elected officials as far as the board is concerned from the towns, right? And they've given us the authority to move forward as far as the project is concerned and the steps that we need to follow to make sure that we're following state law in regards to closing a school. So we don't need to go back out like, I'm not gonna say we have 8 chairs, Town of Wales, can I get you guys to give me a thumbs up? Town of Litchfield, can you give me a thumbs up? We don't need to do that, no. Does that help clarify?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
So just to recap for a second, Noel is going to go sometime in the next 2 weeks
Yeah, definitely. I think we can make that
and
happen.
connect with the superintendent and the director of operations
Yep, tomorrow.
and some random other organizations.
Yeah, yes.
Interested parties.
And then we'll have something by the next board meeting, selectmen meeting
It's fair enough to say.
in 2 weeks.
That would be on the 29th.
No, it's actually 3, yeah.
So, the fifth.
Yeah.
So,
And so we'll leave this as unfinished business. And we're not currently creating a building committee.
I think we should probably work on a building committee. I mean, creating it, I mean, I can ask all of them if they want to also be on it while we're in the process.
So you'll just have some updates.
Yeah.
By the next one.
I already got 2 that want to be on it. I don't know, that's great.
It's public.
Raquel,
Yes, sir.
can we maybe put something on the website that we're looking for committee members? If so interested parties, contact Noel directly.
You had my work on
Vote
Committee
and
members,
vote, so that is-
what are we gonna call it though? To the members for the future of
Sabattus Primary School.
Sabattus Primary.
Do we have to put anything, like, should we put something out in the November ballot for people to vote if they would like to keep it or sell it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so, before you get too far into it, yeah.
At the town meeting, didn't they say to take it over and to fund it for a year?
Well, that's what the budget was for, the budget.
Yeah.
For a year to finish. Yeah. we will.
I'm going to assume that the money that you got though is just to winterize it, because.
Insure it, right?
Yeah, because that wasn't enough, when I asked, because I requested what their cost was for heat and electricity
Marco,
for the past year, and it wasn't enough to cover the electric bill, so,
the fuel tanks are full in the ground.
yes.
As far as I know, I
Yes,
know that
they said they were full.
Yeah.
Did that report come back from the inspection from the state on the tanks in the ground?
not that I know of, right? I can find out for you.
Yep.
Is that helpful?
John?
Is Public Works gonna continue plowing that this winter?
I don't think they plowed it.
They never plowed
They
it.
never plowed it.
We didn't,
We hired and they plowed it.
I went to an RSU, we stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's gonna be ours, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be.
Might be a consideration for that.
Rick, just to make sure, it's state report for the in-ground tanks, is that correct?
Yep, the inspection on it. Any more discussion?
So this will be moved to unfinished business as well? Okay.
Sabattus Primary, or did you guys move while you used the restroom?
Motion correction regarding loan versus bond.
So I'll make the motion that the town finances the 2025 roadway improvements through a bond anticipation note to allow for projects to begin, and then will transfer to a bond when the application process is open.
I'll second it.
So I'll just ask the town manager to.
Discussion.
Background.
Okay, so back in May, okay, before I got here, Holly started working on the ban, which is the anticipation note, because the bond bank only does applications twice a year, and if we didn't get the bank loan ahead of time, then work would have to wait. You wouldn't start this fall. You'd be next spring before you could start. So what happens is the bank will give us a loan ahead of time, and then we go out for the bond and we pay off the loan. because this isn't, if we went for a commercial loan strictly for this, the interest rate is outrageous. It would cost a lot more money, so. So this motion is just to clarify, so that it's clear to everybody exactly what's going on with the funding.
So we got a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Roll-off containers.
This is on there because the motion was made last time, but it wasn't on the agenda, so we just make it again now that it's on the agenda to make it clear.
I motion that the town purchases roll-off containers from, what's that, Waste equipment, waste equipment, in the amount of $22,400.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? MOU Community Garden.
Me. As I brought up at the last meeting,
And Kevin, if you just wait a second,
sorry,
we'll make a motion and then we can talk about it.
okay.
All right, I'll make the motion that we authorize the town manager to sign the MOU for the community garden district.
Second.
Yeah.
Discussion?
Now I didn't, well, so I wanted to explain to you.
Go ahead.
So you didn't want to, if you don't want to talk about it, I don't want to.
No, now we can.
Oh,
There needs to be a motion on the floor before you can make discussion.
okay. Usually I just talk right away.
Right.
Okay, I apologize. So, so at the last meeting, I brought up the fact that the MOU was signed with the district. It needs to now be signed with the new owner so that the garden at Sabattus Primary School can still be used as a community garden. So at the top of it, I sent it to all of you ahead of time. There's one line that we crossed out. Chain link fence for security was one of the requirements from the district that I didn't necessarily agree with. It kind of brings it and makes it feel very cold. Right now we have perimeter fencing, which are wooden posts with yellow rope, and it brings the eye so you don't trip or fall or choke yourself, but then of course it allows it to be welcoming. You can tuck under if you need to or go through the entrances. So I would love to remove that. There is no water access to the garden. We're far away from the building, so I just wanted to clarify that. We have rainwater barrels, and I have signed documents. So I was able to get a copy signed by Jamerson Crowley, who's the Sabattus Rec Club president. And so that was the only thing. At the meeting you had, George, you had mentioned that it was just to the end of the growing season. The way that the MOU is written is that it is for 1 year at $1, and then it automatically renews for an additional term of 3. So I would ask that we had one additional, unless you that we write it into, if you choose to sell the building, that I have the option to be able to renew with the new owner. So I would just ask at the end of our next year. So if you would, I have 2.
Do we have legal documentation that the school is ours from the school?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's a little premature.
I think it's premature.
It's not according to the attorney. So as soon as it was approved, you guys are the owners, because I still need to be able to access it. And I know it's public space, but I need to cover my tail too. We have our own certificate of insurance. So I need to make sure that I have documents that follow suit. Mine did end when the building was transferred.
But it
With
hasn't
the
been
vote.
transferred
It
yet.
has with the vote, is what the attorney is stating. So,
But I've spoken with our attorney and
yep,
he wants to see paperwork before anything's done.
okay, so now you have a copy of the paperwork for the
From the
MOU.
school.
Okay, but so I'm requesting, so when you have that and you're able to,
Mhm.
would you please consider? Thank you.
So he wants the deed, is that what he wants? Yes.
We're waiting for the lead.
And is that for the deed for us to get insurance and everything on it too? We haven't
Show
got
that
insurance
you're
on it.
approved. No,
Yeah.
we don't
We
have
haven't.
proof of it.
Right, we don't have it
So is it currently uncovered?
No,
Probably.
no,
No,
they
it's
haven't,
School
they haven't
staff.
transferred it
School
yet.
has it transferred.
RSU still owns it.
Okay, so it'll be covered until August 31st, and then it will be the town's responsibility. Okay, just checking. Just,
Good to ask.
So are you guys
I mean,
ready
if
for
it-
maintenance now?
I'd like to know.
So I did mow over our designated area because it looks awful. So, and no holdbacks, I guess. So, I mowed a little further than I should have so that the garden looks presentable.
So would we make,
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
so would it be safe to say to have her come back on the 2nd of September or the 16th of September?
My.
That's how
I
fast
would say the first meeting in September, because we'll get this going before that.
Kelly,
We can have
are you
everything
listening
ready.
to us?
No, I'm not.
So I just asked what meeting you should attend.
Yeah.
Which, shh, it echoes, thank you. I just asked what meeting you should attend, and, we're saying the 2nd of September.
Okay. I did.
Thank you.
It'll be in the unfinished business.
Yes, unfinished business.
Look at it, yeah. My motion could stand that you sign the MOU when it becomes appropriate.
Your motion is for now though, right? So
It's a-
it's not for September. You have to make a motion
Yes, sir.
for it to sign in September.
Right.
So then you're
Dies.
vote on it.
We'll just vote again in September, when we have all the information. So we'll just let that go. Okay.
Actually, we need to vote. It's a motion on the floor in a second, so.
So make a motion to move it to September 2nd?
You could have voted on your
Just
current
vote on
motion
that
first and vote it down.
We got a motion and a second, all in favor? Opposed?
And I voted it to put it on the September agenda, so you're all set.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Kelly will be here, so. Sorry, you're another.
The select board minutes have not been completed, so.
So the approval, can I do?
Correct.
I think we're also missing one other approval, select board minutes.
From the town meeting.
No, maybe
Oh.
another meeting.
Oh, I don't know, I'll have to check on that.
Comments from the board?
I do.
She's ready.
I have two things. Let's start on the more positive note. I want to thank Public Works for putting up the flags on Main Street in Sabattus. They look fantastic. I also am going to do a shout out to my husband because my husband bought 4 of them to donate to Public Works to put them up. So they look fantastic. Thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for taking the initiative to do that. It looks great. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Now, on a more negative note, this is my own personal opinion, and this is from me. I know it's been a while now, but town meeting was in June, and I was embarrassed and appalled at how that town meeting went. I thought it was awful, and I apologize to the town of Sabattus for the way that town meeting was run. We didn't have a proper moderator who had his own agenda, it seemed like at times. Didn't like that. I'm really sorry to the town of Sabattus for what a disastrous town meeting that was. And that is, again, just my own opinion. I sat through it, I watched it, and I was not happy with it.
Anybody else? Laura?
Just a reminder that the board, and I'm sure town manager have been invited in August to the Sabattus rec meeting. So if you were not aware of that. Now that the roads, I know there's been a lot of chatter in the community about what roads are getting fixed. So I was hoping maybe we could post those. Someplace I know that they've been in a few of the meetings, but I don't know they've been well documented in there. So it also, I think, will help, with some of the busing and things as roads are being paved throughout the rest of the year. And then also, ways for volunteers to get involved. I think it would be great if we could partner with organizations like the RAC and the school and like how community members can get involved in our community. We attended the Moxie Festival this weekend and it was just really amazing. I can imagine the amount of work an event like that takes. But it would be great to make it very easy for people to find ways to build up our community. The other thing I had, and I don't know if maybe it's just a check-in eventually, but I would like to look at some ordinances on door-to-door. There's been some chatter about like different groups that show up door to door to door on scooters, on mopeds, on things like that. The ones that have been commented most are like solar and pest control, and I just don't think it's very safe for people with elderly kids, and they're a bit aggressive. I was approached the other day, our driveway is 700 feet, you can't see us from the road. He wouldn't leave, and I told him I would be happy to make him leave if that, he could leave nicely or he could be forced to, so. Is that an ordinance that we would work with code enforcement? Maybe a
That's
question.
more the police than code. Yeah.
John?
I don't know if you can regulate people going onto other people's private property. That's just from what I'm just hearing you say that now, that's my first initial thought. You can't stop somebody except the landowner stopping them. You can't stop somebody from going up. I would think that's the case.
Like a door-to-door sales, you can't,
I
say that's like an ordinance in the town that you can't do.
I don't think so. I think he's correct because that's gonna be police enforcement.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have either no trespassing signs, no soliciting signs and things like that. And
How's
then,
your neighborhood? Don't you have a sign, it's up there, no soliciting? Does it work? Yes, I'm
No,
asking
we
you.
don't have that.
No?
No, the thing is if you do a no soliciting in town, you're gonna stop the Girl Scouts. You're gonna stop everybody.
Yeah.
So if you don't want nobody going on your property, you put a sign, no soliciting.
That makes sense.
Or you get a big dog. You don't leave them outside.
Or a pig.
And then just the last thing, if we could get an update from animal control.
George?
My turn? And to piggyback on Laura's stuff, I know that, I think we still have committee openings for volunteers. So it'd be nice, again, put that on the website, see if we can find some people to fill that. I think it's appeals board, we're missing 1 or 2 people, alternates. And we have an alternate on the planning board too, I think. And my other request is if we can get the budget, the current budget that was approved, up on the website, in the budget document area. And as an example, if you look back at 2015, that's in there on that date, 2015.
has it been done since 2015?
No, it's not that one. It has been posted.
It's been
Well, again, I'm looking so that people can go there and see the information that was approved.
Yeah.
So that we have it available.
See what else we got.
Well,
Yeah. They just said for appeals and planning board, weren't you on both? Are you not on them anymore?
I don't know. I got a phone call and I was told that Rick said that I should resign because you can't be on the board of appeals and be on the board for planning board.
That's
which I
right,
was-
that's a conflict, yeah.
Which I was an alternate. I wasn't an actual voted member on the planning board, but I said that I would resign from the board of appeals, and apparently I've been removed from both. So
What?
and that's what I was told. That was your recommendation, is what I was told.
not for me.
No, I'm just saying that's what I was told.
All I
I didn't
said
come and
was-
check with you either.
You can't be on both.
So we did vote you on as,
As an alternate.
As an alternate.
And you had voted me on as Board of Appeals. And then, but that was only supposed to meet once a year maybe, and I had to go in a pinch when I got put onto the board. And then I got voted in as an alternate for the planning board after, 6 months of being on the Board of Appeals and nothing being done with that. And then I got a phone call saying that I had to resign, so.
So where do we stand? Do we still have him as an alternate on?
So I've got the book of all the appointments in my office because they haven't been kept up on. I have to go through and make a list to see where we're at with these. So I'll be able to answer that question maybe by the end of the week.
If he's a sub on a planning board?
I'm gonna go through all the appointment papers and see when they expired. What we have
Oh, you
where.
could have expired?
I shouldn't have because I just got put on, but
I'll find out.
Okay.
I'll figure
And
it out.
you'll contact him?
If I have a phone number, I'll contact one of you to get his contact.
Okay.
you'll have my info up there, but.
Okay.
And if not, I definitely can get his info. Is it okay if I give her your number? Okay.
And I was
I'll figure it out.
getting information from the planning board about the meetings and everything, and then up until that phone call, and then I haven't heard anything, and that was a couple months ago now. I haven't
Okay.
heard anything from planning board or anything like that.
I just know it's hard to find people, so if
Absolutely.
he's willing to be on one of the
Absolutely.
two.
So which one were you staying, the planning board, were you staying on that
Yes.
one? Okay. And what is your name?
Rocky.
Okay, I'll figure it out by the end of the week.
Comments from the town manager?
It's been a busy couple of weeks. I'd like to say I came in and it was slow, but now I hit the ground running. So we've started negotiating with the police because that was lagging. The police chief issue we're trying to work on. My second day here, I spent in the office registering cars because we were down to one staff, so I spent the whole day out there. We've got the Trio upgrade lined up because we have to switch to Trio Web, so I've got that going on. Then we get the road situation with the bond and all that going. I've been dealing with the federal government because we have a unique identification number for grants, and it's tied to the fire department wages that has lapsed, and we have to get that reinstated. So I'm going through all the hoops to get that done. Been dealing with Grow Smart Maine, looking at the elementary school and having new staff come in. So it's been busy since I got here. Yeah.
You knew it would be.
I did.
You knew it would be.
I like a challenge.
Yeah.
And I've met some really nice people. And and my second day here working in the office actually worked out really well because I wouldn't have met all the people I did if I hadn't been up there doing that. So that was a good day.
Comments from the chair? Welcome.
Give you
Wow.
just the right background that we have one more new person starting as a temp.
As a temp, yeah, she'll be in hopefully tomorrow.
Got a mouse in the heater running, or the wheel.
Yeah, so
What is she gonna be a temp for?
Natalie. Natalie's gonna be leaving on maternity leave.
That's right.
So we're getting her in now to get her trained so that she'll be ready to roll when we go down to staff.
Perfect.
Treasurer's report? None?
Next one.
Excellent. Comments from the floor?
Hi, everyone.
Not ignoring you, go for it.
Can I talk?
Sure.
Motion me in. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So, I had requested that we have a representative from an organization called Community Heart and Soul present about what they're about. And it's an organization that comes in and works with community members to hear community voice and revitalization. And creating comprehensive data, as well as community needs assessments. And it's very similar to aspects of Grow Smart Maine, but it is a organization that's national, that's within the nation. Specifically, I would have a person who would be able to come in and speak She was scheduled for June 17th. The meeting was canceled. We rescheduled her for July 15th, and then it was never brought up on the agenda, which felt kind of crappy. And then I haven't heard anything. So I would love to have her rescheduled so that you can hear what this organization could do. I'm not a resident of Sabattus. I know some of you know that, but the heart and soul is why I moved back to this community. And it would be awesome to regenerate some of that. And I would love to see it district-wide as a district-wide effort, but specifically in this town, because it is why people do move back. So
What was the name of that again?
Community Heart and Soul. And so she's going to reschedule. She can come in person depending on the date or via Zoom. And I offered to help host that with technology.
Do you want to ask her if she can come to either the first or the second meeting and let me know, and I'll get it on the agenda?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
John?
I have a few, but to Laura's point about the email going out to citizens about the road repair, I would suggest the priority list, because if it does go into next year and people all winter long are saying, what happened to my road being fixed? You might be getting a lot of phone calls. Could we get also an email notice out about closing the roads for road construction, public works? I traveled about a mile up my road today, and there was a sign that said it's closed, so I had to turn around and go all the way back down and cross road. If I had seen that, I wouldn't have gone that way in the first place.
When you say email, do you mean Facebook or website or?
Well, we have a blast community email that goes out with
Okay.
notices of things that are happening.
The alerts, yeah.
Roads being closed would help. Fire department training tower at the transfer station or Public Works. Is there any ideas of what's gonna happen with that? It's falling apart. It's been falling apart for 3 or 4 years. No,
Reach out to them.
What was the question? I was writing.
So there's a fire tower at Public Works, fire department used for training, it's falling, it looks awful.
Okay.
When the townsfolk come down to use the transfer station,
So it's a fire tower?
fire tower.
At the transfer
Training.
station.
3 or 4 years because of that.
The buses
Yeah, it's all wood.
that need to be removed there and
So it needs to come down?
no, or repair.
Repair.
Figure out what they're gonna do.
can we find out what happened with the police chief that we were hiring?
He declined coming,
He declined?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that being said, the police department, sheriff's department, that debate is kind of over. I didn't get a chance to make a comment. When we had the budget meeting, I got caught off right beforehand. Right before the meeting, the sheriff was there along with the interim police chief. I already knew that the sheriff's department, their deal was one officer 24/7. That was they were gonna hire 4 officers for the area, 1 24/7. They'll get backup if they need backup. I asked the same thing to the Sabattus chief, and he said they do not have 24/7 coverage. He said sometimes we have 2 people on duty, most of the time 1, sometimes we don't have anybody on duty. Is there something where the board can kind of find out? I can understand if maybe they have a log that says, yeah, we don't need anybody on in the morning from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And for the people in the town, it's like if there's specific times that nothing's really going on, that's one thing. But if JS or the sheriff's office, if somebody called out sick, they had a big pool of people to pull from. Sabattus doesn't.
Correct.
So unfortunately, a lot of people in the town, I like the small town police department and all that other kind of type of stuff, but there isn't coverage. So as a citizen, I'm concerned that and so the Androscoggin, that's when people had mentioned that, oh, it's gonna take 45 minutes for them to come over here. That's because they're not on duty over here and there's no local cop over here. So yeah, they are gonna have to come from a far distance. So I think a lot of people in the town are concerned about what kind of coverage do we have now from the police department.
I think a lot of people were misinformed And they weren't listening to the sheriff when he spoke.
And
That's
on that
the problem.
note, that part, it's like, the sheriff all the way through, when he did the meeting before, he's been over here, et cetera, it's like 24/7. And there's sheriffs and all the towns help each other and all that kind of stuff. The one thing, and I just found, again, when I was walking into that meeting, that's when I asked the question that nobody asked anybody before, is what does Sabattus currently do for coverage? And I was kind of a little shocked when he said, it's like, yeah, sometimes you don't have coverage. And then the 911 call bounce off sheriffs and stuff like that, but that's one, to look into.
I believe, and George, correct me if I'm wrong, because you were the one given the schedules. I believe for August, they've got it worked out so that there's no downtime. I believe that was the statement. There was not going to be any time that wasn't covered coming into August. One of the issues is one of the officers is leaving.
Oh,
So
well,
we're
exactly.
down
That's
again.
why I voted for the sheriff, because there's a deeper pool.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great if we had $5 million spent on the police department.
Absolutely.
And fire department and all that other kind of stuff. Living.
To that, though, during budget season, 'cause I'm on the budget committee as well, there is an officer that is on 24/7 call status with the police department.
Correct.
That has a take-home unit for that reason, so.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, that was one thing that I remember from the meeting, so.
Can I piggyback on my question? So I was under that impression also. What I was just told this evening, because I asked that because someone did call recently and it wasn't an emergency, but they did need police assistance with doing something. And what they got told from dispatch was Sabattus has no one on right now. So as running a business and as a resident, I think we need to really do something. We're one that's not appropriate for dispatch, and we are gonna check into that to make sure the proper word. Rick did say that we could get a transcript on that, so we are gonna figure that out. But yeah, it does come to a concern now because we don't have police. Oh, he's good.
Nancy.
So I know that you guys, I don't think you have the authority to overrule what was voted on at town meeting. But if you do not have staff, do you have the ability to say, we do not have staff to man this. We need to contract with Androscoggin County until we can work through this.
We have to ask for Androscoggin, their offices to cover our overtime is what we need to do for us.
So that isn't, my understanding from the sheriff is that isn't necessarily working because he doesn't have staff to do that. So I don't know that that was one of the reasons we had suggested going with ASO.
You're not gonna be able to temporarily have Androscoggin County cover here because they're gonna have to hire staff to staff it. So it's gonna have to be a commitment. So at that juncture, you're gonna have to go back out for another vote.
At what point do we say we need to have a special town meeting? I mean, people are not getting what they were told or what they expected to get
Right.
at the town meeting. And, I don't know if it was Tracy or Nicole, but Noel, whoever said it, people were not listening to the conversation because they were listening to their emotions. So they missed a lot of conversation that happened there. But exactly what we expected to have happen is continuing. I mean, it was already this way, and it's just not getting any better.
Rob?
George, how many officers are we missing that we should have according to this budget that we passed?
We're missing the chief and a patrolman.
Okay, so are we actively seeking a chief and a patrolman?
Yep.
Okay, so is that gonna solve our problem?
Well, it depends on, again, I think it depends on who you hire.
Right.
If you have, so currently there's 3, again, I'm not quite sure when Officer Burke is gonna be on his own.
Right.
But so we have 2 full-time officers that are working. Officer Burke is supposed to come off from FTO any day now and be put on the night shift. And then we have one that's gotta go to the academy in August, and he'll be gone until December. So it'll leave us with 3 officers to cover 24-hour shifts 7 days a week.
But that's the budget that we passed at town meeting, was for that amount of officers and a chief.
Right.
But if you do the math, you need 4.
Correct.
But we've been in this boat for a long time.
Yeah.
It's coming to the point of,
And again, it's just the sheriff's office has backup where
yeah,
status.
like, we need police officers. We need someone on. It's becoming safety. If something happens, I mean, I'm a childcare facility. If something happens, we need police officers. So we gotta do something as a town.
But again, hopefully, I'm wondering, it's like, again, if they say there's not coverage, is that non-coverage during the very low time frame, or it just happens to be, it's like, okay, we don't have any credit for Friday.
Okay, well,
So, I mean, and that, you should be able to like find that information out.
So it's my understanding that it's been like a 2-hour span. It's not a whole shift. And I don't dare commit to when.
Right.
But that's what was my understanding, is like a 2-hour span. It's not a whole shift.
Mhm.
car accidents don't wait though.
No,
Car
they don't.
accidents don't wait.
No, absolutely
Like,
not.
they don't wait. And if we're going to be paying for a service, we need someone.
And is there are those 2-hour type things, is that like a quieter time or a busier time?
I don't dare commit to that.
And then even
Yeah.
with something like that, there's sometimes, it's like you have 2 officers on duty, you know, on the busy Friday nights and Saturday nights, which takes a little time away from, so. yeah,
So coming from a town that just lost their police department and went with the county, so this is all, I've been there, done this. You can't replace local, the connection with the local police if you can maintain your force. County's great, they'll come in, but county also, if there's a call, they're gonna go. They're not necessarily gonna be in Sabattus all of the time. That's something you have to look at. Pro having your own.
But Lisbon will come if there's a car accident, so it seems like the police departments, everybody.
They work
helps
together,
everybody.
mutual aid, yeah, correct, yeah. A lot of towns are going that direction now. Because it's a bidding war to keep police officers now, because nobody wants the job.
So with you just saying that, when Sheriff, what was his name?
Sampson.
Sheriff Sampson was standing there. I don't know what your contract had, but I asked the question for the residents. I asked, because I have a daycare and we actually been having a police officer, which as a resident, I want our small town police. I truly do. But as a business owner sitting here, people vote you in to make business decisions. And that was where my vote sat for the community. So when I asked Sheriff Sampson if we were gonna have, he said we were gonna have 4 police officers that we would know personally. They would be in our town because they were gonna use this as a hub. So you're saying that you didn't have that, but
Correct.
It's a contract.
we're doing a contract. So, and that's where the community was misinformed. We were going to have 4 full-time officers, and like you said, they were gonna come into the daycare. Sorry, I'm like looking this way a lot more than you guys. They were gonna, they would come in, they would get to know the community, they were gonna use this as a hub. That is what he said, that is what our contract was. So, and I asked the question so the community could hear. My question was, those 4 police officers, because someone asked over here to the left at the town meeting, well, how do you guys figure the budget? Well, what he said was, we don't have to pay vacations, they already have all that in. But when, I'm gonna use Bob, when Bob's on vacation, their pool is so large that they just pull Sam in.
They can afford to have floats.
Yes, and Sam works just that vacation, then Bob comes right back to Sabattus. And then if Bob retires, Bart comes in and takes the place. So we have 4 full-time that we get to know. Sorry, I'm using names of people. But, and that's what people weren't understanding. and we're at a safety point.
Rob?
Yeah, I think we're beating a dead horse. The citizens of the town of Sabattus vote to keep our police department, whether it was by 1 vote or 10. So consequently, I know we're in negotiations with the police department right now. We already know because it said our acting chief put in his letter to the taxpayers what the issues were, why we can't keep officers. Low pay, no advancement. So those are issues that we have to fix in order to keep our police department here that the taxpayers want it. And if that's not being done, the problem doesn't lie with the police officers, it lies with the board not getting what the taxpayers wanted. So if we're gonna go down this road again, which you can do in another year, bring it up at town meeting again. But my point being is the budget that we pass is what we have to work with, and we need to fill those officers and the chief. And the sooner we can get that done, the sooner this problem goes away. And we're beating a dead horse because the taxpayers voted.
That's right, we're beating a dead horse, safety issues, that's what my concern
Laura?
is.
How long have we been looking for a chief?
Since December, I'm not sure.
Well, again, it was since December. However, because of the vote, we waited to offer this guy the job till after the vote, because why offer him a job to come here and then be gone if the vote went that way? So that's what took the time. So again, Raquel is on it, she's working at it.
That was my first phone call.
John?
Changing the subject a little bit finally, there's a safety day for the police department, fire department, public works, Maine Warden Service, Life Flight of Maine, on August 30th at Pleasant Hill Ball Fields. Does anybody know anything about that?
August 30th? I saw it on Facebook.
I
and
do.
have it here to put under the important dates.
Because I've been trying to get in touch with Adam Thacker, but he's on vacation.
He'll be back next
I'm
week.
gonna talk to him about it.
What was the date, John?
August 30th. It's like a touch-a-truck thing, some safety things and.
And maybe the school, Marco, maybe the school would have like fill the bus with school supplies or something of it.
Sure, if you give me the information on that, we see what we might be able to do.
August 30th, Adam Thacker. August 30th, then Chief Thacker of the fire department.
What are you talking about now?
I said it would be cool if the school had a bus there to fill the bus with school supplies.
Whatever you think you want to do. I will just say that I'm gonna talk to Chief Thacker about this.
Oh, of having it at Pleasant Hill?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody from the rec club knew anything about it.
So